Hello, fuckos, and welcome to this episode 58 of the Chris Hunter Comedy Podcast with me, Chris Hunter. Hello, how are you doing? Are you well? Have you had a nice fortnight? You may have noticed I wasn't here last week. Unfortunately, for some reason, on my way home from work, I suddenly came down with something, I don't know what, some kind of weird cold type situation, which only lasted a day, so I don't know what was going on. But either way, I lost my voice. Now, I don't know if you know this, right? It's a bit of a trade secret. But when it comes to podcasts, using your voice is pretty fucking important. So, I mean, I could have sat here for I don't know how long doing mime, but I imagine this doesn't sound as interesting as talking. Although, to be fair, when I talk, nothing interesting comes out anyway. But you get the gist. What I'm saying is, it takes a voice to do a podcast. So, yes, anyway, I'm back this week. I can only apologise for those of you who missed me. But I'm back. And it's been an interesting week. This week saw my younger brother, Jack. I say younger brother like I've got an older one. I've not. He's the only one. But anyway, it was his birthday. And he spent his birthday doing a tournament in Slovenia. Because he's fancy, you see. He doesn't just do your run-of-the-mill round the corner tournaments. Oh no, not Mr. Fancy Pants fly around the world. No, he's done really, really well. It was a really, really fucking big Paralympic, what's it called? You know what I mean? It was a really big tournament. It had 450 applicants, which is just insane for how many people wanted to play the game of table tennis, I believe it's called. And he did great. He came back with which way round is it now? I always forget. It was I think it was a silver in team and a bronze in single, something like that. But either way, he came back with 2 medals because he's a proper legend. And I made up for him. So that's done him real good in the old standings, the whole point system and whatnot. I don't understand it fully, but he says he's doing well. I believe him, and that's all he needs from me is a bit of belief, you know. But it was really interesting because when he's doing the Slovenian Open, which is the tournament that it was, they stream the tournament on YouTube, which is really cool. They stream the tables individually, and you can say, you know, if you look on Twitter, it says, I think British Power TT, say, you know, Jack Hunter Spivey is going to be on table 9 live in 10 minutes or something like that. So if it was a table that I could actually watch, I'd put it on whilst I'm working, just a little in the corner, you know, just at the corner of my eye, listen to the results, you know. But most of his matches weren't streamed. It was just, I think, the last few. So I caught 1 or 2, which is good. But one of them, as it started, it was really confusing. It was a team one. What do they call them? Doubles, that's the one. A team of 2 people. It was a doubles match. And he started playing. And then I got called over to someone else's desk to help them out with something. So, you know, I went over, helped out for a few minutes. I came back. And the score said 2-0. And they were all shaking hands, like, we're done. And I'm thinking, what the fuck? How do you win 2-0? Isn't it best of 5? Like, I know it's been a long time since Jack's been playing table tennis. I really should know the rules by now, but I always forget how many things you play. I think it's 11 points per round, and then you have to be the best of 5 rounds. I think. I don't know. But anyway, I'm sure he'll correct me on this, because I'm sure Lucy's probably giggling away to herself now, because she's like, I know all the rules. I'm not stupid like you. Well, you know, we can't all be special, can we? Yeah, so it was funny because they were wrapping up at 2-0. And I was like, what happened there? So I sent Jack a message saying, why is it finished? Like, what's going on? Have they forfeit or something? Because this is weird. And apparently the guys, he misread a couple of serves or something and then said he was injured and they had to stop. So, boom, there you go. Nice little 2-0 right there. Anywho, speaking of birthdays and such, it's also Andy's birthday from Cafe at the End of the Universe today. So happy birthday, Andy, Mr. Burger King himself. The real Burger King, none of this nonsense with a big mustache and golden hat. This man means business. The real Burger King wears a yellow t-shirt and a smile. That's all you need. Now, we didn't actually go to Cafe at the End of the Universe or Dark Side of the Spoon this week. We were just very, very lazy Saturday. We woke up and we were like, we ain't moving. So it was one of those days where we just didn't move. But they had the Pikachu burger, which looked amazing. Lots of yellow on it. Nom, nom, nom. And they had unicorn cheesecake, which, that looked really nice too. But, you know, I'm sure they'll be back on at some point, or something similar will be on at some point. I don't know. But yeah, so happy birthday to everybody who's had a birthday this week. I'm sure there's been more people. You know, it's a big world. There's a lot of people knocking about. But yeah, it's been it's been an interesting week. Although, I'll tell you a little story. It's a simple story. It's very quick. I got a message the other day from Charlie's mum saying it said something like along the lines of, "I've just sent Charlie a message on WhatsApp." So I replied with "okay," and then she replied back saying, "Oh, she's read it now." So I replied with "okay" again, because I to this day, I don't understand why I got told either of those messages. But yeah, so for a brief moment, I got to learn what it was like to be a WhatsApp notification. And you know what? It feels kind of, I don't know, kind of takes all the wind out your sails. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, cool, I'm a notification. I could have been a part of a conversation, but alas, it was not to be. But that's fine. Any of you guys follow, what they're called? Let's Players. Do you guys follow Let's Players online? People who play video games and they stream it to Twitch, or they make videos on YouTube. Well, if you do, you will know that in this past week or so, there's been a little bit of drama. To the point where all of Twitter's... oh, shit. I cannot remember my bloody words today. The trending topics on Twitter were mostly related to this event. There is a video game player gentleman, I use the term player quite loosely, although it's now accurate, called Pro Jared, who... I'm not going to judge on looks, but is not a looker. But anyway, he had an affair, which is horrific. You don't ever have an affair, folks. If you're out there, if you're listening, if you're not single, don't have an affair. You're just a massive bellend if you do. But anyway, he had an affair. And not only that, but he had an affair with somebody else who I liked, which is really annoying, called Commander Holly. Allegedly, I should say, although there's proof of everything. And it just kind of blew up, and I felt really bad because the guy who Holly was potentially with at the time when all this stuff started is a guy called Ross, who's really nice from Game Grumps. And, you know, it's not nice when you see people, you know, you watch hundreds of hours of videos over the years of these people. You feel like you get to know them. It's like listening to a podcast. So, you know, some of you guys might not know me. It'd be nice if at least one person listening didn't actually know me in real life. But anyway, some of you guys might not know me. But through listening to the podcast over time, you'll feel hopefully that you get to know me a bit better. And I'd like to think you could have a conversation with me. And it feels that way when you watch these guys on YouTube. You know, after all these years, you feel like you could just get along with them. You could have a chin wag. You could have a natter, set the world straight, you know. So yeah, I felt kind of bad that was all happening. But, you know, it's every cloud has a silver lining, because apparently this guy he's soliciting nudes from his fans. So I'm sure there's going to be some sort of follow-up to that, because that shit is wrong. Especially since majority of his fans, or should I say a lot of his fans, are not of nude-sending age, shall we say. So I don't know what's going on there. But speaking of not of nude-sending age, holy shit. I went to the cinema the other day, a cinema I used to work in, and I was informed that a former member of staff, who I'm not going to name because I should, but I'm not going to, a former member of staff is apparently a nonce, a massive nonce. He's a lady, not a lady, he's a child, a wannabe child thingier, you know. So yeah, that was a surprise, although actually it wasn't. I wasn't surprised in the slightest, because he just has that about him, you know. But then I saw him the other day, actually, for the first time in I don't know how many years. So I'm just walking around town by where I live, and I thought, wow, there's one right there. He's just out in the wild like a Pokemon. I could shout stuff and he would get killed on the spot. That's the kind of world we live in. But I'm not going to do that, obviously. That'd be ridiculous. But yeah, have you guys ever had this situation where you know somebody who's done something horrific or wanted to do something horrific, and you're like, well, what can you do? You know, there's nothing you can do about it. It's just a weird feeling, just knowing that what they're thinking or what they would do. And it's a weird one. I'm not sure how to sort of, you know, evolve that into something else. Anyway, what was I going to say? Jesus, I'm all over the shop tonight, folks. I've just had, listen here, love. I've just had some chicken katsu curry followed by some apple crumble. So I am asleep, you know what I mean? And also the podcast is later than normal because I've just got out of watching Detective Pikachu for the second time. And why twice, you might ask? Well, I'll tell you why twice. Let's see, what happened? Oh, I've just moved my thing. Yeah, so we watched Detective Pikachu the other day. Like I said, we went to the cinema I used to work in. We went there to watch Detective Pikachu because it was opening night and we could get good seats. So we did. But my God, it was the worst screen I've ever been in for people being just sheer knobheads. Like, I really, truly despise people who go into a cinema and make loads of noise. It's bad enough when you have noisy food, but at least the cinemas sell that. So, it's the cinema's fault, really. But when you're there and you're talking, or you're just on your phone, or any of this bollocks, right? We were sat at the very back row, so we could see all the bloody phones that are out. There's one idiot was filming the bloody film, which is just stupid. You don't do that, folks. Little heads up. Don't pirate films. They don't take kindly to it. The people sat next to me and Charlie were fucking idiots. They seemed, if you just looked at them, you'd think, oh, they seem alright. They're probably about our age, a couple of years younger. I don't know. And they seemed like a nice couple. But then the film started, and every time a Pokemon would come on the screen, this guy who was acting, he wasn't simple or anything. He had this, like, if anyone came on, he'd be like, it's Charizard, and he'd say the name of them out loud. And you just want to say, yeah, I know. That's why I'm here. I'm here to watch them, not listen to you and your bollocks that's spewing out of your mouth right now. And they kept going on throughout the film over and over again. They kept saying stuff, not just the name of Pokemon, which, by the way, he only seemed to know the name of the Gen 1 Pokemon, so I spot a hipster. But yeah, also his lady friend and whatnot. They kept just talking about stuff and, like, started conversations in the middle of the film. So at one point, I know that Charlie was getting really pissed off because she was sat directly next to him. And at one point, she just said to me, she said to the girl, "Excuse me, am I in your living room?" And apparently the girl looked quite confused and said, "What do you mean?" So Charlie said, "Am I in your living room?" "No? Well, stop talking during the film then. I'm trying to watch it." And I thought that was quite a sassy way of saying shut up, because I just shushed him like twice earlier on. But, a little shush apparently doesn't carry much weight. But being a sassy bitch does carry weight. So there's a lesson for today, folks. Be a sassy bitch, and people will shut the frig up. So it was kind of ruined a bit, so we went to watch it again today. This time in Lee Cinema, in the Cineworld. Much nicer cinema. It's newer, so it's got to be nicer. But anyway, it was a quieter screen. There was like 6 people in there total. It was awesome. So yeah, just watched it again. It's a great film. I really, really enjoyed it, even the second time round. I feel like some people might complain about it a little bit, but that's because it seems to be the popular thing to do, is to complain about a film that is built on fan service, And I've never understood that, because just by sheer definition, that was a weird way of saying stuff. Just by sheer definition, fan service is to service the fans, right? So if it's in there, that's a good thing. But then people complain because they're like, oh, it's just full of fan service. Well, yeah, that's literally the idea of it. But anyway, yeah, I enjoyed it just as much the second time as I did the first. If you've not watched it yet, I suggest you go and watch it. It's going to be around for a while, but still, it might be a good idea to go and get it watched. But speaking of watching stuff, we went to London over the weekend. We were supposed to be going to watch Jupiter, the Japanese band. I think I told you guys the other week about them. It's former members of Versailles, who I used to listen to a lot as well. And I was looking forward to it, but then we got to London, and it was a really warm day, and we've been travelling, and me and Charlie both sort of just said to each other in different ways, like, do you actually fancy this gig tonight? Or, do you want to see if we can get some theatre tickets or something? And we both came to the conclusion that, yeah, we're old. We just wanted to be comfy in a theatre seat rather than roasting hot in a gig next to a bunch of other sweaty people, So it was nice. So we went to the ticket office in Leicester Square. Little tip for you folks, if you ever go to London and you want to get some cheap West End tickets, don't go to the stupid tout shops. They'll all rip you off. Just go to the tickets box office. It's literally called TCKTS Tickets. It's in Leicester Square. It's the official box office, I think. But they have like cheap discounted tickets because it's on the day sales. So we got tickets to go and see the play that goes wrong, or the play that went wrong. I forget what it's called. But anyway, it was really, really good. Like, I was very surprised. I thought it'd be good, but not as good as it was. Like, it was 2 hours of solid belly laughs. And that's pretty rare. You don't get that kind of consistent quality. And it was cool because it was like slapstick, almost like it was old school funny, but still funny. You know what I mean? Like Buster Keaton kind of style stuff. Parts of it were literally from films like that, with like, you know, falling scenery and stuff, and they stand in the window. It was really, really cool. But they've got a few more plays on as well. They've got one. It's called A Comedy About a Bank Robbery. So as you can guess from the title, that's what that is. And they've got another one coming up about magic that goes wrong, which apparently is produced by Penn and Teller as well. So it should have some real magic in it, you'd hope. But yeah, so that was nice. We had a little pensioners retreat to London instead of the cool, hip gig that we were supposed to go to. But then we got back and we watched Speechless on TV. I don't know if you guys watched that. It's a really good show that's been on for the past few months, I think, or a couple of weeks. But anyway, it turns out it's been cancelled in America, so yay. Another show that we like has been cancelled, that makes it what, like 4 this month? For some reason, apparently Netflix have taken a leaf out of Ricky Gervais's book, and they've started cancelling stuff after 3 seasons. Now, I know Ricky does after 2, but apparently Netflix think it's a good idea to do it after 3, but that's not right. Not as a blanket thing to do. You shouldn't do that for every show. Do that for certain shows that it really matters, to keep it concise. Things like The Office, it works well. Keep it short, 2 seasons, leave you wanting more. But things like Game of Thrones, can you imagine if Game of Thrones stopped after season 3? Or Breaking Bad, you know, or how many other shows have gone on forever like that? You know, Big Bang Theory and Friends. It woun't be anywhere near as strong, because you might be able to say, well, if a show isn't good enough after 3 seasons, sure, it's not good enough. Well, that's not true, is it? It's really not true. That's like reading a book and saying, well, I'm 4 chapters in, so let's just stop. You know, why finish the book when you've done 4 chapters? Fuck it, throw it away. But yeah, anyway, so we watched Speechless, which is a really good show. It's about a lad with cerebral palsy who can't talk, so he has a guy read out his board, and he points to it with a laser marker, and they have like a really interesting family. Very dynamic. It's got Minnie Driver in it, who I'd never seen before, but she's bloody good. And it's got the guy who plays Barry Kripke in The Big Bang Theory. He's in it as the dad, and he's brilliant as well. To be fair, everybody is brilliant in that show. It's really well written. It's a damn shame it's getting cancelled. But if you guys get a chance, go and watch Speechless. It's really fucking good. And yeah, so yeah, a bit of a sadden. There's loads of shows that I watched that have been cancelled, like Santa Clarita Diet cancelled on Netflix, which is a damn shame. I love that show. What else was there? There was something else. I know Big Bang Theory is finishing soon, very soon. Oh, and also, guys, no spoilers. There's only 1 episode left of Game of Thrones ever. So what the fuck are we going to do now? You know, I don't know what to do. But there's at least 3 spin-offs coming, so, you know, that should be good. Keep us occupied for a little bit. Hopefully it'll be at a really high quality like the shows were. I imagine it will be. I trust the guys at HBO. They seem to know what they're doing. Most of the time, anyway. I mean, I'm not in the board meetings. I don't know everything. But anyway, I think I might just leave you lovely folks there for now. But, you know, if you like what you hear, if you like me, even if you don't like me, do me a favour. Tell your friends. We need people to get some ears onto this podcast. So, yeah, let people know where they can listen to me, which is everywhere, pretty much. Wherever you can find a podcast, I'm there. On Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, TuneIn, all that place. I'm also on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and YouTube. All of them, Chris Hunter Comedy, apart from Twitter, which is at Chris Hunter Com, which is short for comedy, so, you know, it's kind of close. But yeah, also don't forget, folks, I want to thank everyone once again who reviewed and rated the podcast on iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcasts. I truly, truly appreciate those gorgeous 5-star reviews that you people have been leaving me. Thanks to you, it now shows up on iTunes as a 5-star podcast, and I deeply, deeply appreciate that help, guys. So, let's keep it going. Let's get it stronger than ever, shall we? Let's make it to 100 episodes. We're currently on episode 58, so I think we can do 100. I want to do more, but let's see how we go. So thanks a lot for listening, folks. I will see all you beautiful barstools next week. Bye-bye now.